All right, too late, Gene. Let's get down there and get it.
Okay, no big deal.
All right, here we go.
Start mine. Tell me when.
Hey, this is our first live, so.
Yeah.
I mean, not first live, but YouTube in a while. All right. Hold on, let me get this one started and then I'll introduce myself. Are you ready for yours?
I'm ready with mine.
All right.
Coming at you, 3, 2, 1, go.
Recording in progress.
Hello, hello. Hey, this is Crossing the Line with Larry Dowles Jr. and guest, Mr. Gene Valentino.
Hey guys.
How you doing? Now this one here is going to be a little bit of a tight view here, but we'll do what we can because that's all we got right there. All right. Let me grab my iPhone here.
Let me ask you a question. Can you put that over here?
Yes.
Why not just put it over here so we're looking at the same, kind of in the same area here. There you go, right there.
Right, a little bit farther.
Oh. There you go.
Oh,
Oh, good.
hold it. All right. Hey, Sean Hughes. Holy shit, I just seen him. Set that one over there. All right. We got a good little show for y'all tonight. Hold on, let me get all these cameras set up. I got YouTube live over there. And Gene's got us recording here. So, anyways, we're gonna discuss a few things. Hold it. Let me get this baby here going.
While you're introducing your show, I'll introduce ours.
Yes.
We've got two going at the same time, folks. We're simulcasting with Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast, broadcasting over Zoom into a recorded base where we're going to use it on the www.genevalentino.com, where we feature podcasts, newscasts, and special features. This falls under the special feature category. From the Grassroots Truthcast point of view, we're going to be introducing Larry Downes here. Larry Downes Plumbing, a friend of mine from Pensacola for the last 2 decades, and a professional in the community who's done an awful lot to help this community grow. We get together on mutual turf, we start working out together. This guy's helping me get my body in shape. I'm feeling better about it, Larry, and thank you for getting probably take 20 pounds off and feeling a little bit more fit. Feels great. And in the process, what do you think we're doing? We're talking about some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Well, we start talking, and it's like lighting a match in a gas tank, right?
And I'm gonna try not to cuss because I want people to be able to get this message. Share it if you get a chance to. We're gonna talk a little bit about medical, a little bit about my dad and the Medicare system. Oh, y'all are not gonna believe this.
Yeah.
Oh, can I get
Take it right out.
There we go.
Take it right. Push it right out.
Yeah. Anyways, we're going to talk about the Medicare system, and y'all are going to be shocked as to how much money of our dollars, our tax dollars, is going to Big Pharma. I know, it's a shocker. Hold on, let me grab this real
Larry's got
quick.
more stuff. Back up. And he says to me before we begin tonight, Gene, I'm not telling you what we're going to talk about. I'm going to surprise you. So, folks, I'm on the edge wondering what he's going to talk about too. I think we're in for a real treat.
First off, I want y'all to take a look at this video that I just happened to pull this morning and this evening. As y'all know, we have one of the best governors in the state. I believe he is the best governor in all the United States. But I had a little bit of a problem with him right off the rip, in March with the COVID executive orders, but he straightened it out really quickly. And I like to think that I had something to do with it, but who knows. But anyways, he's been doing great ever since.
Yes, he has.
Had one little problem. So for anybody that's saying anything negative about him, there has to be something wrong with it. I mean, wrong with them. He, she, whoever. All right, here we go. This here is amazing. Let me see if I can get it up to where everybody can see it. Hold on, I got a brand new case here. Look at this here.
Oh, cool.
See that? I can take this into meetings and I'm like, would you look at it? Just look at it! It's crazy! All right, here we go. Gee, you're gonna love this.
What is it? What?
Let me make sure. Make sure I get my volume up here.
Newsmax.
Hold it. Huh. Hold on. Hold on a second. We got technical difficulty. Bluetooth is on. What is this one here? This is JBL, so it's connected. It's connected. Make sure. All right, hold on. It's about to connect. I'm trying to give you enough volume here. All right, we're connected. Let's see if it's going to work. All right, here we go.
That hate in your heart, keep it there. I want to vote that the people of Florida who care about our state, good Democrats, good independents, good Republicans, unify with this thing.
Oh, that's good.
Hold on, that may not.
Use this promo code and save 30%.
Those who support the governor should stay with him and vote for him, and I don't want your vote. If you have that hate in your heart, keep it there. I want to vote that the people of Florida who care about our state, good Democrats, good independents, good Republicans, unify with this ticket.
Did you hear that?
Oh, that's good.
Did you hear that? That sounds like somebody with hate in their heart, doesn't it? Don't want your vote. If you were with Governor DeSantis, I mean,
Where's he coming from, Larry?
the only thing I can guess is that maybe he really likes the freedom we have here in our country. I mean, here in our state, and he's trying to sabotage his own Democrat ticket.
So you're talking about Charlie Crist.
Yes.
He came out of Hillsborough County. He was a state representative and then became our governor. After that, and he came our governor as a
Republican.
Republican.
Yes.
Switches parties,
To independent.
and then ends up running for the United States Congress
Mm-hmm.
for that region of Central Florida. And now is running for governor again in Florida against Ron DeSantis on the Democratic Party.
Yes.
So he switched from Republican
Yes.
to independent.
Yep.
Now he's back to Democrat
Yes.
to run against DeSantis. Snowball's chance in hell, but we'll see how he does.
No, I fully expect every single Democrat, registered Democrat, of course every independent, NPA and Republican, but I fully expect every Democrat, registered, bona fide Democrat, freedom-loving Democrat, I fully expect y'all to vote for Ron DeSantis. You know how they always talk about him? From the DNC, from the, Death Santis,
Yeah.
what?
Like a hot.
Like with hate in their heart. Oh, just like what he just said.
Yeah, but did you see the DeSantis commercial with his young son?
Yes.
He comes out like a Top Gun.
Yes, I
There's
love
the
it.
alternative,
Yes,
right?
the alternative.
Here's a guy, freedom-loving
Yep.
guy. He's touching your heartstring when he brings his little boy in to sit in the cockpit with him and fire up. And what does he say? And don't ever step down from a challenge.
Never.
Fight all the
Fight
way.
all the way.
And every single time DeSantis was challenged by the media, by the crazy liberal left, he nailed him 100%.
Yes.
That's what's got me so excited about this guy. Do I think he could be president someday? Yeah. But between us guys, I hope Trump does it one more time. I know.
Listen,
I know.
I'm
I
going to
know.
governor. I hate to lose him for 2 years.
But that's the point.
I
One
know.
more year. He's
I know.
younger than Trump. I'm a little selfish. Let him keep doing what he's doing good in
I
Florida.
do like
Look
that.
how good we're doing
I
great.
do it.
I hate now if you're going to come from New York or any other parts of this nation,
Sure.
leave your damn politics behind. You're coming to Florida, which has been successful. Don't try changing it, right?
On my way here, stopped at the Tom Thumb to get me an energy drink. And the lady, I could hear her accent, and she's kind of nice at the counter. She's getting her stuff. I said, "Man, where are you from?" She said, "Chicago." I said, "I knew it! And I got to talking to her, and I pulled out one of these videos. And she says, "Oh, God." She said, "That's what I ran from." She said, "I ran from Beetlejuice." I swear! Now watch this here. Y'all gotta listen to this one. It's amazing. This is from this morning.
Boy, I hope the mic's
Current Congressman and former Florida Governor Charlie Crist, the winner of the Democratic gubernatorial primary, 16% of the votes. And this morning, Crist criticized Governor Ron DeSantis, the COVID-19 response, saying that if he's elected, he has a plan to keep Florida safe and open.
We can listen to science. People like Dr. Fauci, instead of mocking him like my governor, like our current governor does, and make sure that we keep businesses open and save people's lives. They're not a false choice. You can do both. If you got a brain in your head and you graduated from Florida State University instead of Harvard like he did, he's out of touch. He doesn't understand the Sunshine State. He doesn't have a clue about this place. It's sad. I do.
Chris, top opponent for
First of all, he understands Florida better than Charles Crist, and he really stuck it to Harvard by letting them know that a conservative can come out of Harvard and
Yes.
still do
Yes.
something productive.
Yes.
It's a shame. And Charlie Crist, by the way, Larry, was he was closer to me when during the BP oil crisis when I was your county commissioner.
Sure.
And we in fact worked together on some of the oil cleanup issues that stemmed from the entire beach area. What I don't like about Charlie Crist is how come millions of dollars ended up in the BP oil crisis in Hillsborough and Tampa, all the way down to Naples. What was their oil damage as compared to ours up here, right?
Probably
That's what bothers me about that.
Probably the same as the coronavirus, Coronavirus CARES Act, the Build Back Better Act, what was the other, American Rescue Plan?
Rescue America, yeah.
Yeah,
He, Charlie Crist is consistently inconsistent. He doesn't, he's a chameleon. He's changing colors based on the
that's
convenience.
actually what they said.
Oh, did they?
Well, they sure did. They said that. Now, hold on, you gotta listen to it one more time, because this is amazing, and then we're gonna move on.
Past Commissioner Nikki Fried conceded last night about an hour.
What's his face there?
Current Congressman, former Florida Governor Charlie Crist, the winner of the Democratic gubernatorial primary, 60% of the votes. And this morning, Crist criticized Governor Ron DeSantis, the COVID-19 response, saying that if he's elected, he has a plan to keep Florida safe and open.
We can listen to science. People like Dr. Fauci, instead of mocking him like my governor, like our current governor does, and
Do you see how he's almost crying? I did a video earlier on it, and I'm like, oh, we should follow science and Dr. Fauci? Like we should,
Isn't it?
you know, you get your vaccination, and you're done, 1 and done, no 2 and done, no 3 and done, no 4 and done, no 5 and done. Oh, you don't need a mask, this Fauci, oh, you don't need a mask, oh, you do need a mask, oh, you do need 2 masks. Oh, you get your vaccine, you don't need a mask, oh, don't need a mask, no, you don't need, get another vaccine, oh, you need your mask again. This goes on and on.
The consistent inconsistency. He said my governor, and he said, corrected himself and said the current governor. Well, it was a Freudian slip because he is his governor.
Yes.
And he's doing a good job, and he's going to have to admit it.
Yes.
And he's balanced a budget without a state income tax or an increase in taxes. And that alone is historic. I have a problem with the way they're approaching this. Fauci, for them to deify Fauci as some sort of deity and think he's so special now that he's retired is an insult to the millions of people who have died in this crisis.
And how many more?
That have yet to surface. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a lot in the Bears.
And
Bears
today,
database.
there's news coming out about this guy having secret messages by email with staff regarding top secret confidential conversations about the Wuhan lab in China that we funded
Yes.
to study gain of research technology that was illegal to be done here in the States.
Or anywhere around the world.
That was approved by Joe and Barack in the previous administration.
Sure.
They allowed the funding for that.
Now, what about this? The Wuhan Institute, it's the Wuhan Coronavirus Institute.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
China,
the Wuhan Coronavirus Institute of Virology.
the China virus, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the name of it is where it came from.
Yeah, right.
But even that, you know, how many of these other labs are in other crooked countries? You know, such as the Ukraine.
Okay, tell the folks, what's the name of your show?
It's Crossing the Line with Larry Downs Jr.
And we're simulcasting
Yes.
with Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast, which is also able to be accessed on www.genevalentino.com. And hey, before I forget, let's get a link in place for Larry Downs on genevalentino.com. So a little crossover here.
Sure,
Folks
yeah.
checking in with you. If you get shut down on any of your sources, you can link through me.
What I would like to do is send all of them through, so that they're on your
Would be happy to.
yeah.
Yeah.
That way, whenever, cause see, on my other Facebook account, Larry Downs Jr., I got like 16 more days of a 30-day sentence for being a habitual tracker offender. I was one of those once. A habitual community standards violator. Yeah.
Well, this is the double standard of free speech that you and I have talked about so often. And just think if we can keep DeSantis locally, who's already going after Facebook and Twitter
Oh, yeah.
at the state level, and think about a new Republican administration that takes on Facebook, Twitter, and the other, and the censorship going on with YouTube and the
Yes.
rest of them. How about getting the freedoms back in our bill? It's called the First Amendment right of free speech
Yep.
and public expression. Out of mind controls in place to manage profanity or illegal pornography and stuff
Now
like
wait a
that.
minute.
What?
I don't want profanity. I don't mind, but the pornography.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever the limit should be.
Well,
But
whatever you can say, you know,
In a normal conversation.
in a normal conversation, which I believe normal conversations are, you know, the F word,
Okay.
the S word.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I guess it boils down to the way you're raised and how you want to conduct yourself. I think there's anything being done that would threaten the youth
Yeah.
or solicit for any pedophiles to think they have an access point.
Oh yeah.
That kind of public speech is not acceptable to me.
Well, personally, I don't think any registered pedophiles should be allowed on the internet.
Well, yeah,
You know, that would solve that problem.
we gotta find a
I
solution.
mean, it would solve that problem if they obeyed the law.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
What do you got?
Here's what I want to go into. On the back of this paperwork, now I have not redacted this. Hold on just a second here. Let me make sure we got all this covered. Hold on. Let me see.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Just in case I show it. All right.
Yeah, I see what you're doing.
All right. This is the Medicaid.
Yeah, I don't need to
This
know
is
your
the-
medical.
This is the Medicaid number. This is my dad's. He gave it to me so that I could share, and I'll post some of it. But just to give you a background on my dad, he let me get this. I think it was in February. He got diagnosed with a tumor on his kidney. So he goes to West Florida. Me and Mom take him up there to West Florida, and he gets the tumor removed. Well, the surgeon comes out. I go all over West Florida, February, no mask on. Everybody's just looking at me. Everywhere. I go up to the floor he's on, go into the weight room where my mother is, after I'm done visiting everywhere. Because I even videoed it. And everybody's looking at me, they're like, I don't know, I can see what they're thinking. They're not telling me nothing, but they're like, I don't think you can do that. That's the look. So anyways, I do that, and I go up to the floor they're on, and then the surgeon, I'm waiting, she's like, he hadn't come out yet. It's been a couple hours, maybe 3. And she comes, the surgeon comes out, which is a cool dude. He's probably about 5-7 years younger than me. So he comes out, he says, oh, everything went great. He don't have a mask on either. Waiting room with 30 people in it. He comes out, he's like, everything went great. He's not gonna have a problem. So we're good. So then the next thing you know, he goes back to his doctor, the cancer doctor, and they talk him into taking this Keytruda. Keytruda. It's an experimental, they said, not chemotherapy. And I said, bullshit. So I look it up. It's chemotherapy. They just package it up in a new name. So anyhow, I'm trying to talk him out of it. We go to Texas, go on a trip, we go to Houston. I take him to or mom takes him to MD Anderson. They just tell him to go schedule his appointment, all his records are there. They said, look, you can take this medicine and live 5 years. You know, you can take this medicine and not live 5 years. You can not take the medicine and live 5 years. It's just like, this is, and he's got clear cell renal carcinoma, which is some type of blood cancer. So anyways, they talk him into taking it, even when we get back, talk him into taking it. I'm damn near begging him. I really am. Are you sure of that? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna give it 3 treatments. So 3 treatments, checked him all up. I said, it's pure poison, Dad. And it tells you in all the stuff, you know, all the research I did, that the side effects can be, it can destroy good organs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it can give you, it can make you hallucinate, all kind of stuff. I'm like, that poison can't be good for you. So anyways, every time he goes, him and Mom, they tell me that there's like, you know, they're treating all day long. All day long, so people go into these cubicles. Multiple cubicles, bunches of them. They go into these cubicles, they gotta wait there an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. They got an appointment, they gotta wait. Some people, they get the treatment put in 30 minutes. Some people, it takes them out.
Mm.
So anyways, this medication, this poison, I don't know. So anyways, the amount, this is 1 month's worth right here, and it's every 3 weeks. So he did 3 treatments.
So this
Now-
is the Medicare statement?
Medicare statement. This it just blows me away. I look through here and it's got a bunch of, you know, personal information, claim numbers, all that.
Yeah.
So, hold it. And so my mother says, how much do you think that chemo was? Oh, the Keytruda was. You know, like $8,000 a shot. You know, that's freaking ton, right? No, she says, no, not even close. So listen to this. Medicare just funneling this money into these pharmaceutical and the doctors who are administering, and they're talking him into doing it. The one here in Pensacola.
Mm.
Oh, you gotta do this. Well, what did MD Anderson say? Well, they said you could do it or not. You need to do this. I mean, it's like a drug pusher. It's kind of like the COVID. You know, he had his regular doctor did that. So let's go in. Enough of a cliffhanger. Y'all never guess who is there. You'll never guess. Here we go. Infusion of chemotherapy into a vein, up to 1 hour. And it's got the number and all, the lot number, injection, all this, and it's got the price here. $44,232.
Whoa. For one event?
One
Holy
event.
schmoly.
There's
$44,232.
There's 2 more coming.
That's one application of the
One.
chemotherapy?
One application.
Now,
Medicare.
your taxes and mine just paid that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, I wonder what that really cost. I
Well,
wonder what the markup was.
well,
And I wonder what if your dad really had any explained alternatives.
maximum you may be billed. This is for him. The infusion, $58. The injection, blah, 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 whatever that is, $1,497. So that's how much they're gonna charge my dad to poison him. Now, they're charging Medicare the rest of it, which is all of us. And I say poison because anybody who knows anything about chemo knows it's poison.
Okay, so that was one application, one infusion. How many?
June 7th, 2022. One application. There's going to be 3 of these.
He's already had 3.
He's already had 3, but this was the first bill to come in. I'm waiting on the other 2, and I'm going to do another show on it. This is just one. This is just one. So what do you think about those? Look, yeah. This is just one. Total you may be billed. Yeah. Nope. This is 2. This is 2 right here. Yep, 2. Here it is. Yep, 2. So his, yes, so he's got 3129.
So 42,000 times 2 then. Whatever.
44,000.
$44,000 times 2.
Times 3 because the other bill.
And the third one's coming. So
Yes.
you're near $130,000 for 3 applications of this stuff. Is this
That's gonna be.
so if someone said to me, Gene, you're dying of cancer, and here's $140,000 of treatment, and it'll save you, I'll say, go do it. But they didn't say that to your dad. They said there's no possibility of telling you the
No,
level of success.
they wanted him to stay on it for 2 years. I was like, Dad, you ain't gonna live 2 years on this stuff. It was literally making his bones, his joints shut down for 2 weeks. Even when we brought him over here to fly with you, it was only like 2 days before he had treatment again, so he was trying to move some more.
Wow.
It was turning his hair. He said his hair, I don't have any hair, but he has. Turning it into a Brillo pad. Now think about this. Nobody ever guessed how much one injection, infusion of this. Now how much is one infusion of the 5 dose treatment of the COVID? How much you think one is?
I would say 150 on the high side.
We don't know, do we?
We don't know.
How come we don't know?
Because the government's paying for it and giving it away free. And it's charging, and the pharmacies have got billions of dollars that they're paying the pharmacy. Here's the part of that.
But why doesn't anybody have, you should have a record. If you went and got your vaccine, there should be something, because the insurance companies are paying for it. If you don't have insurance, then Medicaid, Medicare, somebody's paying for it.
So the
Somebody
difference,
should send a bill, somebody should get a bill, right? At least saying, hey, this is your record.
yeah,
You gotta have a record.
yeah.
And it should either say out to the side, $150 or $3,000. Whatever it is, it should say out to the side, and then it should say, paid for by Magic.
My Magic. You don't mean Magic Johnson.
No, federal Magic.
Yeah, funny money.
Funny money,
How about that?
Printed money.
Well, you know what's different? So here you've got a high price to your dad, which government's paying for. And if it's wrong, there's nothing anywhere that really prevents him from suing. I guess there's some disclaimers or waivers he may have signed along the way. But that's different than the United States Congress as it pertains to the jab.
Yeah,
Putting into law that the pharmacies cannot be sued.
yeah.
The pharmaceutical industry cannot be sued for the efficacy of the vaccine for COVID-19 and the boosters that follow.
Sure.
No harm, just get them jabbed, and we'll see what the results are.
Well, do you remember on the mRNA COVID, the commodity? I think it's called commodity, or commodity, or something like that. Anyways, that was supposedly approved from the FDA. So now you're gonna have to get it. Remember, the military, everybody. Companies with more than 100 employees, you've got to get it because it's now no longer a experiment emergency order. It's been approved, the commodity only from Pfizer. And whenever that got approved, The only way you can administer that is it is labeled. That's a serious problem. It has to be labeled. None of them were labeled. They never used the commodity. They never used it. They withdrew it. Right now, try to find where FDA has approved, not for emergency use, but for safety and just general use. So they used an emergency use experiment and forced people to get it or to be fired. And many have been fired in the military, government jobs, private sector businesses who were 100.
This sits, Larry, against the backdrop of a major swing, I think, is going to occur in government when the Republicans get back in. A complete look at the CDC and NIH, National Institute of Health. I think they have been out over their skis.
The FDA.
The FDA in particular, and I think there will be some, there'll be not only a house cleaning, but a reorientation of methods and procedures to design and develop vaccines on an emergency basis, and a whole process of not insulating the big pharma industries from the liability they deserve to stand up and to defend themselves from for reckless production
Yes.
of product that gets jabbed into you that could result in your mother, your father, my mother, my father dying.
Yeah.
Or our brothers, or our sisters.
I know,
You know, you sit here-
I know over 15 now.
You're sitting right here in my man cave, and right outside there is the hangar with the airplane. And guess what? The A&P mechanic I had hired goes in for a small, a light dose of COVID. He ends up getting a booster shot.
Oh, God.
Ends up, the shot, the Moderna shot. And within a few days, he finds himself in intensive care. And God rest his soul, he died 2 weeks later.
Jeez.
I mean, so for me, it's been up close and personal.
Yeah.
I take great offense when any government agency, an employer, or authority comes in and imposes on you and me a mandate to take the jab.
Even, and I get it, I'm right there with you on imposed coercion, but I'm even there with an urge or a strong nudge.
Oh, yeah, you mean persuasive. You know, Larry, your job performance and your raise may be affected if you don't get that. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
can see that.
And even with doctors, like my dad's doctor of over 20 years, he told him when he went in there time before, probably 5 months ago, he goes in there, maybe 6, to see him for a checkup, whatever he's doing. This is not the cancer doctor. This is his regular general practitioner. And he says, and he's like my dad's age. And he says, hey, it's time for you to get that booster. So this is like in November last year, 2021. He said, it's time for you to get that booster. And Dad said, Doc, I didn't get the first ones. He goes, what? That's bullshit, Larry. That's bullshit. You're putting everybody at risk. This dum-dum doctor here, I mean, he's insulting my dad. I tried to get an appointment with him so that I could have a talk with
You
him.
should have interviewed him and given him.
No.
All he needed was 5 minutes with you. You would have had enough.
His office said that they wasn't taking any more patients, which is a big thing for everybody. But I just wanted to get it so that I could sit across from him and say, hey, can you check me out? Can you check me out my physical? By the way, I heard you were dog cussing my dad. You know, I mean, that's wrong, because people who are at a certain age, they're easily convinced
by the authority.
The authority, and they'll use fear, authority, peer pressure. They'll use even other people. They, at a certain age, you might not even care. You might not say, "Well, I'll take the risk," but then they say, "You could kill your grandchildren if you don't take it."
Yeah.
Just like they tell the children, they told the children the same thing. You could kill grandma get your vaccine. You know, the 20-year-olds who are at zero risk of even spreading it.
Yeah. There's a concept called mass formation psychosis. It's when the authority comes in and imposes on you this fear
Yeah.
that you gotta do it their way or else
Yes.
something very bad's gonna happen
Yes.
to you.
Yeah.
Most people succumb and say, well, they must be right, they are the government. And I'm a loyal conservative. I consider myself more of a libertarian than I thought I was. But when I truly study the way,
Welcome.
thank you. Yeah, you did have something to do with it. And I realized, because I just went into the definition of what that means. And I think
Most people are if they really
if
get into it.
look, I just believe in the fundamental principles of a democratic republic, and if you follow it, you're following a practice like a libertarian. And what does that mean? You've been talking about vaccine and drug. It means that the people decide the merits of that drug going into their body.
They decide
There should
which,
be no authority or force jamming you into a corner or else
yeah,
type of feeling.
yes.
That's wrong. And by the way, the facts have proven to be true now that Fauci's on his way out, that the lack of research may have killed people
Sure,
in this process.
not may. It did.
It did.
It did.
Okay, you want to know something about this democratic republic? I love it because it ensures justice comes eventually. The problem with it is that it's never as fast as you and I
Sure.
like. So you watch
And
in
the
the
more-
next 2 years, if the folks out there just swallow hard and hold your nose and vote Republican as much as you can, conservative good ones. There's a bunch of ornery nuts in the Republican Party too. But look at the ones that really believe in the rights of individuals and liberties for all. So that we know that when you go into office, if you're an elected official, you're not the big authority with dictates coming down. You recognize the individual is your boss. And so your bosses are the masses that hired you after going into that voting booth. Larry, it's a crazy thing. When I was county commissioner, I felt the ability to feel empowered with a sense of authority. And a few days I had to catch myself and say, hey, hold on, Gene, you're going too far. This isn't what the people want. I know better, but this isn't what the people want.
Yes.
Is a bad thing in a democratic republic. And sometimes the people don't know what's in their best interest. And so but if information is getting to these people in the right way, and truth prevails, and you don't politicize the process like the United States Congress did in waiving the liability with Big Pharma on this massive genocide that occurred worldwide, not just in the United States.
Yeah.
We would have saved many lives. And I think there's going to be a price to pay for that. I think the pendulum is now going to swing back the other way. Hopefully not too late. Hopefully America hasn't weakened itself because of this COVID crisis. I do think there's another level of this whole issue that's a little bigger, Larry. I think China behind the scenes is laughing their asses off. They're stirring the pot on this COVID thing, and we're all running around in circles with 14 masks on,
Sure.
and hurting our children and denying them from expression in schools in the most formidable years of their life, and they're giggling, helping Russia, helping to seize control of what? Ukraine? There's too many mistakes going on at the same time. I don't know if it's intended or true incompetence, but some people at the very top are getting paid very well.
Or if it's coordinated.
A coordinated attack.
I mean, see, the reason why nobody can believe that, or nobody will
They
even
don't want to
consider
believe it.
One, they don't want it, but there's another reason. There's no way you could get all of those people together, Larry. There's no way. You couldn't get Klaus Schwab and Bill Gates and Putin and what's the China dictator?
Kim Jong-un.
Kim, yeah.
Oh, that's North
Well,
Korea.
North Korea.
Xi Jinping.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
China.
So anyways, yeah, I can't ever say those.
Well, neither can I, except well.
But anyways, who could ever put all those together? And then was it Zelensky? Is that his name over there?
Zelensky?
Zelensky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get all of this together. I mean, he's an actor. He's an actor. He's a performer.
Yeah.
And
Well, watch
then-
out now. Ronald Reagan was too, you know.
Hold on. Yeah. And somewhat, yeah. But you're talking about Ukraine, one of the most corrupt countries on earth, who had direct ties, and were paying Hunter Biden.
What is it? $8 to $12 billion we put out on Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up Hunter Biden.
No, if they say that,
There must be more.
it's always tenfold.
Yeah, it could be.
It's always tenfold.
Well, you brought up Hunter Biden. Can you, putting the Trump analogy aside for a minute, why has not the man been investigated as special attorney or a special investigator? Why has an independent counsel not come in and studied the wrongdoing of this guy? They're more than mere accusations. We've got the damn video of it now. I mean, you cannot tell me that man, Hunter Biden, did not affect his father's thinking
no.
on what's in the best interest of America.
Or even worse, his father affected him. Who was pulling the strings? Hold on, do you think Hunter was pulling the strings? Hold on. A man had? No.
He was used as a puppet.
Yes,
He was
by
a
his
puppet.
father.
Yeah.
By
Which
his
is
own
even
father,
more obscene.
which is more obscene.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that Hunter ain't a bad guy. He's a freaking bad guy. What I'm saying is it's pretty hard for a meth head, a crackhead who's how do they mastermind anything? You know what I mean? So this has to be really deep. But regardless of all that, bottom line is Ukraine, was it Burisma, Ukrainian oil company, all of those top dogs over there.
Of course.
Hunter, Joe Biden, the big guy.
The big guy.
The big guy. Now we're funneling $8 billion, probably $80 billion to Ukraine. And I mean, I always, whatever they tell me to do, whatever my government tells me to do,
You want to do the opposite.
the opposite. So if they're telling me support Ukraine, wave your Ukraine flag. Look at all these people in the Facebook, on their Facebook profiles, they were throwing up the screen across their face, Ukraine flag. When the government tells me to do that, I'm like, get your 5 jabs. Well, you need 5. Now listen, 1 won't do it, 2 won't do it, 3 won't do it. 4 really ain't gonna do it because you need that fifth.
Okay. 4, 5, 6 jabs.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something. I've had COVID twice.
I've had it once.
Okay. I went straight to my doctor, and she was not interested in seeing me get the vaccine. I liked her a lot more all of a sudden. Yeah. And what I did do is I got the ivermectin and the hydroxychloroquine.
Yep.
I took it with zinc and Z-Pack. I was okay in 6-7 days.
Yeah. My mother was okay in 4 days.
The real issue to me was that it was better than a vaccine. My body, I don't know, on a scale of 1 to 100, if you come out with a PCR, I think it's called a PRP or PCR test, it was, if you're between 15 and 40, which seems to be a normal range, you're doing pretty good. My PCR test was 88. They looked at it and said, let's test it again. This is off the charts. I said, well, what does it mean? They said it means your body's ability to build up the antibodies naturally is 10 times stronger than any vaccine.
Yeah. Yep.
We're not touching it. Well, what does the vaccine do if we did? The vaccine's like chemotherapy, Gene. It may help kill part of the virus, but it kills a lot of the other good stuff in your body too, like like chemotherapy does.
Well,
You take chemo, you lose your hair, other things happen, but it's the same analogy.
well, it flows through your body.
Yeah.
I mean, I've listened to lots of different scientists and doctors who have really researched it a lot. Pfizer's own data. Pfizer's own data is friggin' off the chain. I mean, their studies for children is ridiculous. They had like 4,500 in the under 5, 6 month old to under 5. So basically up to 5 years old, they had 45 in their study trial. 3,000 of them were removed with nothing. No, nothing said. They just removed 3,000 of them. Their data was complete bullshit.
You take a break.
I made it all this way.
You're doing great. You take a break here. Tell the folks what we're doing. This is the Larry Downs.
This is Crossing the Line with Larry Downs Jr. It's what I call, it's a interview. I do interviews and I do street interviews.
Okay, and he's simulcasting with Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast, which is hosted on www.genevalentino.com. It's also on Spotify, and we push it out to other sources as well. If you go to our website, you can subscribe. And so instead of worrying about going to the site to find all this stuff, we'll just push it to you once a week by an email link.
Or when you go to find it, like I do, lots of doctors and you know, a lot of people are in the know who you go to find it and it's gone. So it's no longer available because it's on Facebook, YouTube, or one of those other Nazi channels.
Well, let's hope the new administration tightens that up. Go ahead, you got something.
All right, what I wanted to do was tell you whenever you're out there, when you're out talking with people about the vaccines, you know, the COVID, the mRNA stuff, when you're talking with them, I do some interviews you can watch, and I'm really nice about it. There's no point in not being nice about it. I'm not as nice with people I know real well. You know, whenever I know people real well, like if Gene was vaccinated, I would be, what that, you know, we would be at it. Same way with my brother. He
gets on me on other things.
Yeah. But, and I expect people to do the same with me. And they do. They'll be like, how? Why didn't you get it, Larry? If you're good friends with me, or if you know me a long time, I'll say, because I'm not a dum-dum. And that's kind of offensive, right? But that's my friends. But whenever you're out, just talking with people in general, exchange some conversation. Just ask them, you know, if they're happy with it. I just talked to a lady at Lowe's. I said, hey, just, you know, paying my stuff. Well, about 2 hours before I came here, I'm paying for my stuff. And I said, did you happen to get, COVID vaccinated? She said, yes. I said, what kind did you get? She said, Pfizer. I said, did you get the booster? Now, I ain't even recording this. I do this even without camera. And she said, no, I didn't. I said, why not? She said, it made me really, really sick for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
She said, it was so bad. She said, I just didn't want it. And that's real conversation. That's what I expect. I expect that, or I expect, no, I had no problems with it. You know, I had no problems with it, which is fine. What bothers me the most is whenever they double down on it. Whenever they double down, and if I talk to them for a little bit, you know, like I know several in person who, after getting it, have had to have heart problems, have heart surgery, have to get on heart medication and stuff, and they're still like, it doesn't have nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it, Larry! And I'm like, what are the odds?
Do you see people out there that just want to fight you on the issue of you're wrong, you should take the vaccine?
Yes.
And they don't substantiate their position based on medical fact. They substantiate it on the basis that government and authority told me to do it, so I need to step in line. It has nothing to do with the merits of the success or the study of its effectiveness.
If you show them the study, they don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
No, they say Fauci.
What
unless
is that?
Fauci says that, yeah, you're right about the study or whatever. I mean, unless Fauci says it, and I know there's got to be a lot of doctors getting paid. I mean, because I know
You showed me a bill on your dad's chemo for what was it, 44,000?
one shot right in the arm, right in the vein.
No, wait a minute. So maybe there's a doctor or two getting a $5,000 commission out of that, huh? I mean, how much can that serum cost to be that expensive? And if they're pushing it out to thousands of people per day, per week, per month, in just one medical system,
But the way
how much money is that nationwide?
I would say, I would like to know that. I would like somebody
A
to.
complete redo of the FDA
Yeah.
and NIH and CDC,
And the Medicaid, Medicare.
it's got to be completely redone. And this is where politics jumps back in. We got to get the right people in there to do an enema on that damn place, because it's hurting you, me, our parents.
It's
God willing, it's our children.
and it's unsustainable.
Well, we can't. They can't
It's,
keep
it's
doing
unsustainable.
it.
You can't just keep printing money
Yeah.
and not be like Venezuela.
Yeah, well, that's what's
Very
been talked about. We will be if we're not careful.
Yes. I mean, we got enough steam from past production. We got enough steam from our past labor, our past investment, savings, invention. But that's gonna run out.
Yeah,
You can only roll so long.
that's right. Hey, tell the folks, you want to do this again?
Yes, let's do it again.
Let's just keep doing this from time to time.
Yep.
Folks, give Larry some feedback if you like this exchange, and I'll do the same on Grassroots Truthcast. Let's see what the folks have to say about this. Larry, I met years ago as a plumber and a mixed martial arts fighter when I was county commissioner. And today we're friends first, I think, and I don't know what. He became an activist in the community, which outweighed his. It became just as important as his livelihood. He's been very giving to the community and very anxious to help you and the people around you. I hope you run for political office someday.
Jeez, man, that would.
You think that's on your mind somewhere?
I think they would Clinton suicide me.
Well, I think you give him a good run for the money.
Like, somehow or another, Larry wrapped the 3/4-inch sewer machine cable around his own neck.
So come on, folks, give us some feedback. You want to see Larry run for office someday? Go to GeneValentino.com, give us your feedback, or contact Larry and let him know how you feel. It might be something he wants to consider, and it's that kind of energy we need to kind of push some of these policies through, because there's too many wimpy people in there that are just acquiescing
Yes.
to the winds of conformity and not doing the hard things that Thomas Jefferson, Madison,
Yeah, James Madison.
and the rest of the crowd from all those days going by that stood up for liberty and freedom, and it was a passion in them just like it is in you,
Sure.
and we need more of it to get the job done and to right the ship. There's a power in the freedom, there's a power in the people for freedom in this nation, and I think we're on a comeback road that I think will make America great again.
Well,
Yeah.
listen. This is my final word. Here's the thing. Government, to me, is like drugs. Just say no.
Just say that.
Just say no, because I can't do drugs. I'm not advocating against you doing it. You do what you want. You do what you want. If you want to huff paint, man, you go to Lowe's and get you some paint. But it's not for me, and I'm for freedom. See, that's the thing. They're like, hey, you can't have that kind of freedom.
So when they say to you, are you a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian? I'm a freedom fighter.
Yeah.
I believe in liberty because that's what our Constitution's based on. If that doesn't get you across the finish line, I don't know what will.
Well, that's what I'm for. I'm for freedom, and I'm for limited government. I get it. There's the evil of government is necessary.
Well, you
But
know-
if you keep it limited,
That's exactly, you know, when I was county commissioner, one of the things I did with Airbuses, and my role, because I have an economic development background, was to create incentives for business. The role of government to step in and help you get off the ground, I'm okay with that. But the government then has to step back and let that business sink or swim.
that's the problem with government.
It doesn't do that.
They don't want
It
to
just
step
keeps-
back.
they
just
step-
say, yeah,
They not only
a
will
little bit
step
more.
back, but they're going like
They
this.
keep going.
And they got their back, they're getting paid off.
I've literally had commissions tell me, what's in it for us?
I know you're correct. Well, we could keep going.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Listen, let's do this again,
Let's do it.
okay? Let's go have a,
Holy shit.
hey folks, we're gonna go have a drink, so if you
Oh,
don't
I
mind.
can't wait.
So, to all of you, Gene Valentino from Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast, www.genevalentino.com, and Larry?
Yep, and from Crossing the Line, look me up on Facebook, Larry Downs Jr. I'm temporarily blocked on suspension. You can look me up on Larry Downs with the U.S. Supreme Courthouse steps, pictures of the courthouse. That's Larry Downs' Facebook. YouTube, Larry For Real. TikTok, Larry For Real 1, and that's FORREAL 1. I just dropped some videos on yesterday, and I'm about to drop some tonight.
And we'll get our producer and webmaster to link all that back to Valentino.
Oh, perfect.
We'll see if we can get you a separate website on that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Gene.
Thank you, Larry.
All
Goodbye,
right.
everybody. Have a good night. See you
Good
again
night.
sometime soon. Take care now.
See ya. And I still got this one over here rolling. Let me see what we got here. Holy shit, it's still going. I gotta figure out how to stop this thing. And